So stay tuned if you want to find out a little trick to determine the general formula for the nth diagram when you have a patterns and sequences question in CSEC Math Paper 2. So this is the January 2025 paper. We're on question number 7. A sequence of patterns is made of dots and lines of unit length. Some of these lines form squares. The first 3 diagrams in the sequence are shown below. So part A, add more lines and dots to the diagram below to show diagram 4 of the sequence. Okay, and this is worth 2 marks. So if we go back up to the sequence, we realize to add on a piece of the diagram for diagram 4, we would have to add one more square, because in diagram 4 we would have 4 of these squares with the dots in them, and also we would have 1, 2, 3 lines coming out of the sides like that, and then in the end we have to place these 2 dots in these squares here. So let's complete the diagram. So we're adding a square at the end, placing a dot in the middle, then you have 1, 2, 3 lines coming out from that square, and then you have 1, 2 dots to complete the diagram. Okay, so that's your 2 marks. Let's go on to part B. The number of dots D and the number of unit lines that form each diagram L form a pattern. The values for D and L for the first 3 diagrams are written in the table. Study the pattern of numbers in each row and complete the rows numbered 1, 2, and 3, and it's worth 2 marks for each row. So for diagram 1, we have 5 dots, 8 lines. Diagram 2, 8 dots, 15 lines. And diagram 3, 11 dots, 22 lines. So let's look at the pattern in the number of dots. We realize that it is increasing by 3. 5 and 3, 8. 8 and 3, 11. So therefore, if I continue the pattern, 11 plus 3 would give me 14 dots for diagram 4. Let's look at the pattern for the number of lines. So I realize that it is increasing by 7. 8 and 7, 15. 15 and 7, 22. So therefore 22 plus 7, we get 29 lines for diagram 4. So these dots here in the table means that we are skipping out some diagrams and we're going to a diagram that has 59 dots in it. So you have to work backwards to get what the diagram number is. So let's figure out the general rule first. That is, for any n diagram where n can be any number, the nth diagram, that is, what is the formula, general formula, pattern or rule that would help us to figure out the number of dots and the number of lines. So this kind of pattern where the values are decreasing by a constant amount is known as an arithmetic progression. All right, at math, students would definitely know what this means. So for math people, you could think of it as a linear progression. Linear meaning that the formula for the nth diagram will take the form of a linear equation of a straight line, y is equal to mx plus c. So if it is the number of dots is increasing by 3, it means then that 3 would be the gradient of the line. If we were to plot, for example, these pairs of values, 1, 5, 2, 8, 3, 11, 4, 14, etc., then it will form a straight line where 3 is a gradient. So all we need to do is figure out what the y-intercept is. And normally, for a linear relationship, the y-intercept occurs when x is 0. So if I were to subtract 3 from 5, I will get 2. For, let's say, if there was a diagram 0, meaning that the y-intercept is 2. So if we put it together, then the nth diagram will therefore have 3n plus 2 number of dots. And from that now, we could therefore work backwards. If we had 59 dots, then if I subtract 2, that will be 57. And then I divide that by 3, I would therefore end up with diagram 19. Okay, so that's the little trick that I wanted to show you. So let's do the same thing for the number of lines. So in this case, here, if we were to plot these pairs of values, 1, 8, 2, 15, 3, 22, 4, 29, then the gradient of that line would be 7. So let's figure out the y-intercept. So if I go backwards, 8 take away 7 would give me 1, right, for diagram 0. So therefore, in terms of n, the number of lines would therefore be 7n plus 1. And therefore, the number of lines for when n is 19 would be 7 by 19 plus 1 would give 134. So let's go on to the last part. For 2 marks, one of the diagrams in the sequences has 148 lines. Calculate the number of dots in this diagram. So from the table, the number of lines is given by 7n plus 1. So therefore, 7n plus 1 is equal to 148. And we just solve this equation, find n, and that will give us the diagram number. And therefore, we could find the number of dots. So if I subtract 1, 148, take away 1 is 147. And then we divide by 7. So 147 divided by 7. So n is 21. So for the 21st diagram, therefore, the number of dots is given by 3n plus 2. So if n is 21, it will be 3 by 21 plus 2, which is equal to 63 plus 2, which gives 65 dots. So I hope you found my little trick to find the formula for the nth diagram helpful.